So I've been meaning to do an episode on Made in Chelsea in a very long time, and also reality TV. I know that I feel like not a lot of us really watch reality TV very much, but I try to watch it on occasion because I think the reason why I do it is because I'm like, yeah, I don't watch much national television, so it's like, yeah, it reminds me that there's still that bit of normality in my day to day life, still me watching the television from time to time. And also, I loved watching, what is it? Yes, I used to really love watching Made in Chelsea in the days when it was like really good. Like, I feel like it's still semi okay now, but it's not as good as it used to be. I can't lie. Like, when I'm watching Made in Chelsea now, is very much like background stuff. Like, I'm always watching it while doing something else. Like, it's a type of thing that you can exactly multitask. It's like, when you see those TikToks of when people are like, oh, I put K dramas on while I'm spring cleaning. Like, those TikToks make me laugh. But it's like, it's because you necessarily can't do that with a K drama. Like, you're not going to be cleaning your bedroom while watching a K drama, are you? You need to actually be sat and concentrated. With Made in Chelsea, of course you can. So the main two reality TV shows I really watch, like, at the very minute is obviously, yeah, Made in Chelsea, so MIC, and also Towie. But Towie less smart, less so actually, because funnily enough, let me even hold on, let me get my phone quickly. Funnily enough, Made in Towie started back, like, I think in like, I want to say August. Yeah, finally, yeah. Towie started back again in August, the August 17th, and then I haven't watched it since then, or I started trying to watch it either last month, and I still haven't picked it up. And this is just the funniest thing. Like, maybe it's like reality TV shows are not as good as they used to be, I feel. And of course, I don't know. Maybe that feels a bit too harsh to say because there is so many different ones. You know what I mean? There's also, because when you think of Made in Chelsea, because it obviously originates on, what's it? E4, sorry. Yeah, well, it originates on E4. So when you think actually a channel like E4, you also have a show like Married at First Sight, you see. So those, but I do think maybe that sub genre of reality TV actually is quite good. I mean, the kind of like yeah, the kind of dating reality TV shows, they are good. But like, obviously, shows like, again, like I was saying about Made in Chelsea and like Towie, like, they are very much so, like, what's the word? They're very repetitive, and also, like, exactly, like, I feel like, of course, as I said, Made in Chelsea did have its peak, and it was very much in the very beginning of the show. Like, to think of the matter exactly, they're on series 13, as the title says. They're on series 30. And all I'm saying is Made in Chelsea was probably, I don't know, it was probably pivotal, or like at its best, around, yeah, like the early seasons of the show, like up to, like, I want to say up to like season 1 to like either 3 or 4. Do you know what I mean? Show, like, the show when, like, okay, when people like, yeah, Spencer Matthews was still there, and like also Binks as well, and there's also somebody else. Oh, and Louise. So Louise, which is Sam's sister, and obviously we all see Sam all of the time. Like, I literally saw Sam. What was it? I saw Sam on Good Morning yesterday. So Sam Thompson, he was obviously on this show too, and I think he was on that on the show. Yeah, he was on the show around, or was he actually? No, he may not have actually been on there when Louise was actually. I think he came into it much later on, to be honest. Like Sam, I mean, because Sam was on the show for also a long time as well, because he was on there. Because for a very long time, actually, I never knew him and Louise was actually related. So I only knew they were related, like, very recent, I mean, because obviously it was like they didn't really show them together all that much. Like, they were together, but they just weren't really, like, they just didn't have them really on like scenes together. But I think, like, because the whole time when Sam was obviously dating Tiff, yeah, when he was dating Tiffany, that whole sector of the show, like that was basically when him and Louise were all together, and also Louise's husband, and I forget what his name is, but yeah, I forget what his name is, but this is what I mean. And I'm like, I'm not, I don't think exactly, I'm not an OG Men and Chelsea fan, and I'm not even an OG Towie fan either. I do remember early days of Men Chelsea only a little bit, but I wouldn't say like exactly. I do. I feel like I might have joined Made in Chelsea around like what do you call it? Yeah, episode like season 5, season 4, or like it's just weird. And I think also another factor that I want to talk about variety TV is that like you can really, it can really be a part of your schedule. I mean, and it can, and I think reality TV is very addictive, which we all do know. It's also like if you think of a show like Gogglebox, for instance. I like what's is so appealing to us actually about Gogglebox when it's just people watching TV in the same way that we would watch TV, but like we're not, like, you know what I mean, we're not being recorded. So I just don't know. I just think there's a habit in these things, and that's my whole thing with Made in Chelsea as well, because I don't really think that the show is really that good. Do you know what I mean? I actually don't. I don't think it's that amazing, and that's why I said in the beginning that that is why it's a background music show. Like, and I've told you guys what a background music show is. Like before, I spoke about that because exactly there is ones where you can just stick it on and you can just leave it there, and you really don't really need to like, you don't need to focus at all. But obviously I feel like, yeah, mentality has become that anyways. And I do think though something that they're doing right now anyway, which is quite interesting, is obviously they are doing that thing where like take how K dramas actually, even remember for instance, they like to do cliffhangers at the end of their episodes. But obviously Men and Chelsea's now doing that now, where they'll do a cliffhanger, what's it called? Yeah, they'll do a cliffhanger before a break. So I suppose that's their way of trying to market it so you don't turn over. So they are doing that now. Which, you know, I suppose, but for me I'm still thinking it doesn't really like I know that it's a good what's it called, strategy, but I still, again, for me it doesn't probably change much. Like even when it does that, I would say I still have my phone in hand, so it's not even a thing where like a good show will make you put your phone off. Do you get it? Or make you put your phone off, even put it down, or even turn it facing over. Do you get it? Turn facing over. Yeah, that would mean it's a very big show that's really perked your interest, and like you don't want to check if you have any messages, if you have missed calls, or you don't want to like doom scroll on TikTok, for instance. But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I still don't feel like Made in Chelsea has really done that. Obviously I wanted to record this episode obviously because I'm actually obviously watching this episode right now. Obviously this was a very long-winded intro, but anyways, let's even talk about the episode. Yeah, like obviously what happened in the episode. So obviously I'm like 17 minutes in, and I'm basically staring at Zeno's like leopard coat, which is very nice. Can't hate it. But obviously I was like, I wanted to record it because I was like, Zeno is actually very annoying. And obviously her whole thing, which was obviously just happening in the scene, was that she was upset to do with how Jules is being treated by Jazz, and also Demi. But I think, I think what is interesting is that although Zeno is wrong because she's obviously putting her nose into other people's business, and I don't like people like that, but like obviously she's doing that, I do think she does have a point anyways, because obviously Jazz like kickstarted up this whole thing anyways for Demi and Jules to even have problems. Do you know what I mean? And obviously the fact of the matter was Jazz was venting to Jules and told her that they were exactly that her and Demi were having problems. So obviously Jules did what like you know what I mean, what a normal friend would do anyways, and be like, oh well, if you guys are having problems and Demi doesn't trust you, then maybe you and Demi are not set to what's it called, withstand time, or your relationship will not like go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So I think obviously like maybe Jazz shouldn't have probably even what's the word? She probably shouldn't have even confided in Jules in the first place in the way of confiding to her and basically yeah, so slating her girlfriend if you think about it. And I know that of course I do think again it is normal to do that with your friends, like to come to them and be like, oh yeah, say, oh yeah, my partner did this and I didn't like what they did or whatever. That's all well and fine. But then I do think like, you know what I mean, they've now the situation has blown out of proportion, all because Jazz obviously wanted to have I don't know, yeah, a little complaint or whatever, or a rant or whatever, and really wanted to say, oh, like Demi doesn't trust me, blah blah blah. But the fact of the matter is, because that's what's also annoying, why don't you just have that conversation together? Like Jazz obviously could have because that's also what Zaino said as well. I think it's like making Jules the middleman when really you obviously didn't actually need to do that. And if Jazz hadn't have done that, then the whole thing obviously wouldn't have been happening in the first place. And obviously her and Demi would have just like communicated that, and the whole thing obviously wouldn't have even been taking place. But obviously like Zeno's weird, and I was thinking like Zeno's weird because I was like, how can she really be saying those things when Demi is there, like Demi is right there and Demi is having a conversation with Jules about their scenario. Then Zeno's gonna chip in and be like, oh, Jazz does this all the time, blah blah blah. And I was like, but don't, I was like, Demi is Jazz's girlfriend, by the way. I was like she's right in front of you, and I was like, that's very weird because you know that would be uncomfortable for anyone who's in a relationship with someone and you're talking about them and then they're also not there. And I was like, that's just weird. So I just think like Zaino is strange, and I was just like, yeah, I was just like, but you know what's so funny? I made a Chelsea type of show, yeah. This is also what I'm talking about with the whole entertainment factor. You could literally watch Made in Chelsea without the sound on, and I don't know, but you generally could. And of course, what I was talking about with the addiction thing is that Made in Chelsea is like yeah, it's habit. And also I don't know what else it is, but also I guess I've always thought that Mental Health is a funny show because it's just a bunch of rich people living their lives and going to different hotspots in Chelsea and obviously also in London. Do you know what I mean? So it's all of that, and you basically just look at their lives. But half the time, and they have such weird issues on this show as well. Like they have all these weird issues, and also actually this whole entire season, I feel like, of course, in this episode, basically what we're looking at is yeah, is really Zaino, Zeno, Demi, Jazz, and Demi. Did I already say Demi? I must have said Demi already. So basically that is what the crux is actually of this even episode. But then I do feel like a lot of this season anyway has been like it's just obviously touched on many different things anyways. And that is what Maine and Chelsea does, to be fair, anyways. Maine and Chelsea seems like obviously it just goes on like yeah, it just has random plot lines or like storylines to go with or whatever, and they're usually just like weird, like you know, like even how in this series actually they have this whole thing as well with Sam, which is Yaz's ex-boyfriend, who's dating Bex, which is Yaz's friend, and then Yaz is like, oh, why is it you're dating my ex-boyfriend but you don't even know that you really like him? And I was like, yeah, she's so valid in that. And then obviously Yaz is like to him as well. She's like, "Oh, it's not about you," which obviously it's not. Because I don't really think Yaz is upset about exactly that, about Sam moving on or going on to Bex. It's just Sam, like, I think Sam always annoys me on this show anyway, because he doesn't seem to really be a good guy. But I'm gonna actually also press play as well, because I obviously, yeah, because it's just weird. I was just like, why is she doing that? So it's just very weird. Yeah, I just don't know. Like, the whole show is weird. And like, I think that, like, Sam, yeah, Sam also, again, I think that also Made in Chelsea has a problem with putting people in the show, and then they make them stay on there for such a long time as well. And I think that's really weird. Like, Sam probably should have left the show after his relationship with Yaz ended, because what is he really here for? Do you know what I mean? He's here just taking up space and getting a paycheck, and that's what they do quite a lot. Because that reminds me of, even, I forget who was on here again. Yeah, that reminds me of that girl. The girl, her name was Lauren. Yeah, she had black hair, and I think she came on the show because of she came on the show, yeah, because of some reason. I think probably wanted to do with one of the guys, as always, right? So she came on there to do with one of the guys, and then and she came in, exactly, she came in there on like season 8. Yeah. So and obviously, oh, it is said that, so Lauren said goodbye to her place in the world of MIC after coming to blows with with Zaino, and soon after, Ruby announced she was quitting the structured reality series after 5 years. And we're like, she should have left already. Do you get it? She should have left already. And she should, yeah, like, she should have left ages ago. Because what I mean is that she obviously came in there um like through a person, because that's what they always do. Do you know what I mean? They put someone on there in Made in Chelsea through somebody else, and then that person stays in the show for like a long amount of time, and all they're doing is just like creating issues, and they don't really have much, like, anything else going on. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, and especially also because Lauren was very annoyed, was very annoying, sorry. So, and she, so her whole thing anyways, when you read the Daily Mail thing, says that Lauren quit Made in Chelsea after mean girl behavior, but I thought that she was actually quite mean in general. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's really strange. I do think that Lauren was mean, and I do, look, there's even this clip, I suppose, yeah, that when she was talking to Jazz. But I never liked Lauren on that show, or on the show, and I'm just glad that she's not there anymore, to be honest. Like, she was on there for a long, and actually, remember, that's what Zaino's issue is, guys. Anyways, Zaino's issue is Zaino's issue is to do with what happened regarding her Jazz and Lauren. So I think she's upset about that or whatever, and she's just trying to say that Jazz doesn't really have all her friends' backs, and, like, I think she's trying to say, in regards to even the situation that's happening with Jazz and her girlfriend, and obviously Jules, she's just trying to say that, like, Jazz kind of runs away from uncomfortable scenarios or whatever, something like that. She's just saying that Jazz doesn't really do handle it correctly. But I also feel like, how are you supposed to handle situations like that anyways? I'll be so honest. Like, as a person, how are you supposed to necessarily handle yeah, how are you supposed to handle your yeah, how are you supposed to handle two people who you love actually um being in a argument, basically? Like, what are you supposed to necessarily do about that? And I think that's why Jazz is so upset about the whole scenario because it's her girlfriend, her best friend, and that's why I mean Zeno to really um use this situation as like, I don't know, yeah, projection and also deflection, but as a way to be like, oh, yeah, this scenario is happening, and I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of it. And we're like, but this isn't about you. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's this whole separate situation here that actually has nothing to do with you. And that's why she's probably just using it as a way to talk down on Jazz, just because they haven't really reached closure in their friendship or whatever. And we're like, well, that's not like uh like Jules or like Demi's problem. Like, that's your own and Jazz's. And if you want to sort it out, then you can. So and yeah, and it's just crazy. So, and I think the whole thing as well. So, obviously, what's happening in the episode at the very minute, anyways, is the situation that I was obviously saying about, yeah, about Yaz, Sam, and Bex. So, this is what I mean. This episode actually is all over the place. So, look how I'm kind of. Look how I'm kind of actually going through with this, you guys, and I'm going through this with you guys, and the way that the episode is uh constructed, and also, I don't even know, constructed, directed, because we know creative direction, all that stuff. So how it's really looked at. So basically, as I said, yeah, you have that whole Jazz Demi Zeno scenario, and then you have the Bex, Sam, Yaz and scenario. And obviously, I already mentioned before was that exactly their problem is not to do with, yeah, it's not to do with Bex. Like, they're saying, like, it's not, it's, yes, it's to do with Bex. And obviously, basically, it's to do with Sam more than Bex, though, anyways, because they're not even saying in a way of like, oh, I think that, well, they kind of are, because I guess in the previous episode, they was saying, oh, like, what about exactly about girl code, and they were like, oh, you're really close with Ziaz, so why would you kiss Sam in a game? That was their whole thing, anyways. And I did yeah, I did agree with that, actually, because obviously that is quite peculiar, because I know that, when you think about, again, go think about reality TV and another one, you say something like yeah, Love Island, and Love Island did all those game stuff, right? And obviously they're like, oh, if you're kissing somebody in a game, that means you like them. So obviously, this is real, like normal, factual, like playground stuff. Basically, we're like, obviously that's a no go, because you're not gonna just kiss someone in a game that you don't actually like fancy. You wouldn't just do it for the fun of it. You're gonna actually do it because you generally do like them. And the whole thing is just like, I think they're trying to say, and I think also, yes, that's what Alice is saying. So Vanderpump's, I think she's his either, oh yeah, she's his fiance. So she's trying to say, why would you put your friendship with Yaz over Sam, who obviously Sam is like, exactly, I told you guys I don't like Sam because I find him really annoying. And the fact of the matter is about Sam is he's always at every single, like, he's always somehow involved in every kind of drama, and then he also finds a way to like stir it and make it worse as well. And I hate people like that because they don't have anything else better to do. And I think maybe that's also why they want to keep him anyways, actually, for exactly the entertainment value, even though, like I said, does Made in Chelsea have a lot of that, if that makes sense? Does Made in Chelsea really have the entertainment value? And does it really have, as I said in the beginning, does it have the entertainment value that it used to have, anyways? Because all I'm saying is, like, the whole factor is that you guys weren't there when, obviously, was it, yeah, Louise, when Louise, what's it called, yeah, she threw her drink at Spencer. You guys weren't there, and that was real iconic Made in Chelsea. And then also, if I think about, again, obviously how I told you I'm watching Towie but also not, so if I like, I'm watching Towie but also not, but the glory days of also Towie would have been like, for me anyways, I would say the glory days of Towie was basically actually when Megan was on there, to be honest. So Megan McKenna, when Megan McKenna was on Towie, that was more interesting than what it is like now. And also another factor that matters with Towie again. This feels like I'm hating on the show, but another thing with Towie again is that they've obviously Sam and Elma won Love Island, right? So exactly, they won Love Island. I think. Or hold on a second. Let's even check that again because I need to like be sure about that. So yeah, I need to be sure about that because obviously it's just like, yeah, I was just like, it was so weird. Um, Tony, who's Tony? But anyway, like I was just like, um, I forget who won actually. I forgot who won the last Love Island actually. I don't know. I can't remember who it was. I'll be so for real. But like I don't know if Sam and Elma won, but the fact of the matter is, my whole point is that Sam and Elma were on Love Island, and obviously after Love Island, I feel like they've obviously gone back to Towie, and then Towie's basically just been feels like yeah, it's generally just been structured around Sam and Elma's relationship after that, and then also actually the new season of Towie that I said to you started in August that I have not that I have not watched, but I did watch I watched maybe like episode one, right? So, but then not the whole thing, but like halfway, because of course, again, my brain clicked and I lost interest. So obviously, it was just like what was happening in that episode, anyways, was like the fact that Sam and Elma aren't gelling or whatever, and I was just like, who really cares about this though? To be honest, and I was like, let's also think. And the fact of the matter is why I'm saying that is because yeah, they were on Love Island and we saw their relationship on Love Island. So what do I really like want to know more about that? And you know what's funny? I also the thing that actually it annoyed me actually when they were dating on Love Island because I was like they could have dated on their own show, which was Towie, and I was like, you guys didn't do it on the show. And then I was also thinking about how when they were on Towie together, Sam had gone on a date with somebody else on the show. So I was like, that's a bit weird. And then they were both saying like, oh yeah, we were on the show, but we didn't date each other. And I was like, well, why didn't you? Because you're on the same like thing, you're on the same show and you're in the same place. So why is it you decided not to do it and you decided to come here to Love Island in order to date each other? And I was just like, that is just weird. Like I was just like, that is weird and that is strange. So that was just very annoying. But like even again, yeah, with Sam and Bex is that they're just saying that why is it that Bex would want to choose somebody like Sam anyways, because he's not the best kind of guy to go for or choose. And also I do agree with the fact that they probably do think that Sam is doing it as a way to get at Yaz, and also because Yaz is in a very good relationship. Obviously, she's with this tennis player. So obviously, I think that's also why he's doing it. But then obviously it wasn't nice because I suppose like that was not nice because I feel like Bex was feeling bad because she was like, oh, she was saying, would Sam yeah, with Sam, why she said to them, why would you guys not think that Sam would just date me for me? And obviously it was like, yeah, that was a bit sad because we were like, of course he would, because you're absolutely like, do you know what I mean? You're absolutely gorgeous. Because the fact of the matter is, obviously, when Bex first came in, because she was dating Freddie, when Bex came into the show, I also thought she wasn't good enough for Freddie either. Like Freddie, obviously, the first thing that happened with her and Freddie was that Freddie was like, "Oh, he's gonna go to war," and we were like, okay? And not even to say like, oh, going to war, blah blah blah. Like, I don't want to be that person, of course, because I was like, of course, going to war is good, and I think it's all about fighting for your country and all of that stuff. But like, he didn't think about how it would affect Bex. Do you know what I mean? He did that, and I think that's very weird. Like, you know what I mean? You're in a relationship with somebody, but you don't think about how it can really affect them, like, and how yeah, they're going to feel if anything happens to you on exactly on the battlefield or whatever, or just there. But the whole thing was just like, yeah, so I don't feel like Bex. Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, okay, see, if now that I'm thinking about it, exactly, her ex was just Freddie. He wasn't a good guy, and now you're gonna go with Sam, and he's not either. You know, the one person who I think, because she was, yeah, it was that guy. It was that guy who was Freddie's friend, which I think his name was like Ollie? Yeah, like his Sam's friend. Or no, not Sam's friend, sorry, Freddie's friend. So I think Freddie's friend seemed like he actually really liked Bex. But like Sam, definitely not. Sam just feels like, to me anyways, exactly. He's just a bit of a fire starter, if I'm honest. And I just mean because, as I said, he's always at the front of everything, and it's just very, very weird. Like, that means he has nothing going on at all. So I just find it very, very strange. Um, so, oh, why she's talking about like, yeah, so, oh, so sorry. Sam was saying, Sam Vanderpump, he's like, oh, yeah, he's like, oh, why is she so obsessed with them, yeah, starting today or whatever. And I don't know, like, I do think whole Yaz and Sam's relationship actually very much annoyed me as well, because even after they broke up, like, again, there was a lot of screen time with them in Made in Chelsea in general, and they do be on there just talking about the same issues. It's also like how this season as well has revolved around um Jack Jack and Olivia's relationship, and the fact that they have just kept arguing the fact that, you know, Olivia decided to date other people after coming out of her breakup with Jack, and then obviously they just do this whole thing where it's like, oh, like, I loved you, but I am gonna date other people, and it's like blah 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 blah. And we're just like, obviously no, you didn't like Jack that much, and that's also why you were able to end it so quickly. Like, that's the thing, like, how quick Olivia ended the relationship after them having problems was just very strange. Like, she just ended it right away, and I feel like also when you see the way that she has acted after it, you can see that she doesn't really care about the relationship at all. I feel like, because obviously she's come across as a way that she obviously, yeah, didn't have much of an investment in her and Jack's relationship in the first place, because obviously if she had, then I feel that she would have, what's the word? Yeah, then I feel she would have worked for it harder. Like, the way that she was like, oh, when I guess when they broke up and she was like, I don't want to do this anymore, Jack. It was like, it felt really like, it felt really lazy. And also, I suppose her and Jack were so close as well, I think, what was it, to moving in. And then I think what happened was like, she was afraid of moving in with him or something like that. And then it's like, so, and then, okay, again with Olivia as well, what's annoying me about her, exactly, she has obviously just been doing too much, and she's just obviously been, um what's the word? Yeah, she's just been doing too much. And I think she's just been like dating too many people. And then she's like saying that she's confused. And we're like, yeah, we know that you're confused. You just came out of a relationship, so you're not necessarily ready to date. So, like, I don't know. And it's like, why is it that, do we need to tell you that? You should already know that. Do you know what I mean? That's why these shows are very weird. Like, reality TV shows are really weird. And they make it seem like exactly like it's normal. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like you can hardly tell if the show is like real. Like that is the thing that exactly about reality TV that weirds me out, because reality TV always seems to be very polished in the way that you can't even necessarily feel like if it's genuine or if it's fake. I'm like, yeah, if it's genuine or it's fake. Do you know what I mean? Because the fact of the matter is, even with Olivia's thing, we just like, is that all like is that all what do you call it? Yeah, is that all drama induced? Or is she generally just like that? Because you know what I mean? If she is, that's very worrying. And then but then we're just like, yeah. We're just like, if she is, that's worrying. But it's just weird because it's like you wouldn't expect anyone to really do that anyways. Like just as how quick that she ended it with him in the first place, because she ended it with him and then she was obviously going around and saying she doesn't want to have relationships with anybody, but then she's making an attempt to do it. Do you know what I mean? But then she's like saying, "Oh, I just saw that that was Soho." But yeah, sorry. So she's just saying that she doesn't want to be dating anyone, but she's just like, "Oh, I want to be single and I want to have fun." And we're like, "But no, like take a breath. Take a breath." Take a breath, take a recess. But anyway, oh sorry. So I think in an episode, I think she's um they were talking about Livy going out with somebody. Oh my gosh, that's really pretty latte art. But yeah, and obviously I've been saying Olivia, but obviously they call her Livy. But I would prefer to call her Olivia anyways, because why do I want to say Livy? I don't even like her. Like exactly. I'm not gonna call her Livy or Liv. Like, you know, like, oh yeah, because there is a Liv on Made in Chelsea, but she doesn't come in here anymore. She was really great actually. Actually really miss her. But then that's why I'm saying like Made in Chelsea does this a lot, because it likes to fill out all these new faces, flushes you out with new faces. Where like, I'm not bothered about these people. Like, where are the people that I generally know and I actually care about? Because sometimes when I watch the show, I'm like, I'm watching it because a part of me does care about their lives. But then there's also like all these other people that I don't care about, which is hilarious. Because exactly, I don't care about Olivia at all. She confuses me, as I said. She confuses me because I don't really know if she really cared about Jack or not. Like, I don't really know if she cared about Jack. And the worst thing, which is obviously as a person not being sure if they want to date people, like, you need to be in control of that because it's your life. So if you don't know, how is anyone else supposed to know? That's my thing. So yeah, and she's just juggling both of these guys as well. So Chugs and Kit, and I think that she likes Kit more than Chugs, but she knows that as well. That's the craziest thing. But then, obviously, they said that she slept with Chugs not too long ago. So obviously, it was a bit weird because I was like, well, why have you slept with him if you don't really like him? That's what's very strange. Um, and I think that I don't know if she should date Kit, because actually, no, I don't think she should either, because as I said, I do think that she's very confused. So I don't think she should date him, to be honest, because, yeah, I don't think she should date him, because she doesn't actually know what she wants, and she didn't know what she even wanted with Jack. Anyways, that's their whole thing, and that's probably why they even broke up in the first place. So yeah. And you know what's really funny about this episode? I haven't seen Fred in the show in a long time, so it was really nice actually to see him. And I think his friendship, like Fred and Sophie's, was also very interesting to me. Like, I did miss their friendship in general, because they have such a good what's it called? Yeah, they have such a good for platonic friendship. So there we go. And like, I feel like platonic friendships are such a thing that, like, yeah, like they're just always very rare to see, and you don't see them very often. That's what I mean. You just don't see very rare, um, genuine platonic friendships between women and men, and that is a thing that people talk about a lot. I think even that was what was happening, as I said, about what's happening with Kit and Olivia, because they weren't gonna date, and then I guess that's probably why she went into the arms of Chugs. But the fact of the matter is, Kit was like, oh, he can't carry on dating her because she seemed too confused. So he was right to literally walk away from her anyways. And then to think he walked away from her and then she went to Chugs. But it was like, what's going on? Like, how could she immediately run into somebody else's arms? Like, but not even, exactly, not even the space of a few days. She's just a confusing person to me. I just can't lie. So, yeah. Oh. Oh, and then they're fixating on this whole thing about how yeah, about how Sam was on his ex's page, but that happens a lot though, if you're honest. Anyways, like people exactly, people stalk their exes. That is the honest truth. It does happen. Like, you know, it happens. I know it happens. Like, I would think that yeah, he is doing it, and that there's no what's it called? Yeah, there's no innocence in that. Sorry, you know what you're doing. We know you know what you're doing. Sure. I mean, Bex makes a fair point anyway. 'Cause she's just saying that um there is what do you call it? Like, people can go on the ex's pages and still not want to be with them. They can just look at them in a like nostalgic way. But I don't know about that actually. Because that's very interesting. I don't know about that. Like, why would you do that if you don't want, like, if you don't want one another? Um, yeah, if you don't want to go back to what it used to be, why would you necessarily be on there? Or is it just like, because exactly, you think yourself, is it just nosy? Like, yeah, just the fact of being nosy and wanting to know what your ex is up to. But I suppose, yes, not want to get back with them, but just really, what's the word? Just really, yeah, just really just surveil, yeah, surveil them, but just in the way that you know you can surveil them because you have access to it. I think like there should be a thing anyways that, like, exactly, people should block their exes after after the relationship ends. Like, that should be like standard business. That's what I think anyways. Because, like, why would you do that? The door is closed. Leave it closed. That's what you're supposed to do. So that's very strange to me as to why, um, yeah, as to why you wouldn't do that. I mean, you know, also what interests me about Maine and Chelsea exactly is that I do find the places that they go, I do find them very interesting. It makes me sound like I find them more interesting than the show. But no, like, sometimes yes. And you know, sometimes what I do like is that they go to places exactly sometimes that are like local to me. I like that as well because I'm like, wow. Sometimes it will say Wandsworth or it will say Clapham, and I'm like, wow, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm just like places where I'm like, okay, I could go there. And it's fun. See, they just mentioned Bluebird. Bluebird is somewhere that they always they always go to, and Bluebird is made in Chelsea's like club. It's their hub. I guess it's funny. What would we say is the London equivalent to that? You know, actually, no, I don't have one. I was gonna say something like Weatherspoons because us Londoners, you know, we love a Weatherspoon. So I think that probably might be our alternative because exactly the Chelsea people are always going to Bluebird. That even reminds me of the the Made in Chelsea game. Like, they used to have that game, I think, on yeah, I'm sure it was on like, yeah, on Play Store. Like, I think it was yeah, it's on your phone. It wasn't like a laptop game. It was like, generally it was like one that you could just play on your phone, and you would just like, and you would just go to Bluebird, and you would basically just, oh my god, sorry, I need to find out. I need to, you know what's funny? Sorry, I need to do research into this because I was just searching it, and then it was almost like, oh, I was like, did I dream up that game? But I definitely didn't. I definitely didn't. I didn't dream up. I didn't dream up the Made in Chelsea game. I didn't, because it was generally real. You see? Because I'm saying the Made in Chelsea game was real. Like, it was generally real, and I used to be on there. And it was such a funny game. Like, I miss it so bad. I actually miss it so bad, and it was such an interesting game. And I think exactly, okay, exactly. It was a game made by um yeah, it was made by Channel 4 as well. But it was such a good game though. Like, and all of the people would be in there, you see, like, but it was actually, oh, it was a game that used to have a lot of the OGs in it. So obviously, like how I said, like, Spencer was there, and what do you call it? And like I said, most of the OG people used to be there. So like Ollie and yeah, Ollie and Victoria, and also Cheska, and also yeah, just quite a lot of people. Like, loads of people were in that game. Like loads of the castmates, they were all in that game. But I'm telling you, they don't have that game anymore though, I'm honest. They don't have it anymore, I don't think. Or if they do, oh, I think they actually might do. That's really hilarious. I think that game actually does still run, guys. That's really funny. But, and I don't know, it's funny because I do like games like these anyways. That's why I used to play it. I mean, of course, that was when, yes, that was my Made in Chelsea era. So I guess when I did really care about Made in Chelsea. Like, I meant, sounds weird. I care about the show now, kind of 10%. But like, I meant obviously when I used to play the Made in Chelsea game, that was when I really, really cared. Because of course it was like, I really did enjoy, um, what's it called, playing the game, and exactly going to Bluebird, which is Made in Chelsea's, as I said, it's their number one hotspot. I don't really know what else you really did in Made in Chelsea in the game, but there was a collection of things that you did on that game, to be honest. I can't remember. You would dress up your character, so it was a bit like, it makes you think of games like movie Star Planet and stuff like that, and IMVU. So all those kind of really dress up simulation games. Um, oh, crazy work. See, Bolivia's being a liar again. And I just, as I can't stand her, as I said, because yeah, and she hurt Jack, and I think Jack is really cool. Like, I feel like I don't care much. I don't care much for Jack's brother, which is James, because that whole scenario with James, Maver, and what's the guy's name again, and so yeah, but that whole scenario, I don't like that. Oh, she just gave him a pie. She just gave him a pie. Oh, I think Chugs wanted more with her. That's a shame. Again, she's not in the headspace to do that. It's not gonna happen. So, so this is what I mean. I'm like, she's not there. She's actually not there. So, yeah. Like, he's mad, and I think, okay, I get that he's mad, because again, like, if I was in a relationship like that, she's confusing. So, but I do understand what he means, though. Oh, she's just not serious for me at all. Like, she's not serious for me at all. She stresses me out. Um, So yeah, she stresses me out a lot, to be honest. I'm just like, what goes on in Olivia's mind? Nobody knows. Like, Fatima Jack didn't even know. Jack didn't even know. So how are we supposed to? Oh, this is the Sam and Yaz's why did I say Yaks? Weird. It's because sometimes it looks funny, it looks weird on the screen, but yeah, this is their chat, which is weird. And it's just like, he's brought her out here like in a way to confront her. That's quite weird. He's like, and he also comes. I feel this is what I mean. Sam's weird. He comes across passive aggressive. I don't like it. He always comes across passive aggressive. You're the problem here. Crazy work. He wants to be with Bex. I didn't get that. I didn't get that thing. Sorry, he said why he creeping on my stories, but he's been looking at her stuff. How crazy! Like it's funny because obviously it's like I'm recording. This is what I do without like it's funny. I'm like, this is what I do without the pod. That's hilarious. I do this in general. Um but I think we all do actually. If you don't shut the television while you're watching it, what you're obviously watching TV wrong. Because if there's a wrong and right way to watch TV, that is it. That's generally it. Because people, oh yeah, but I just mean that exactly. That is the way to generally watch it. And I just think it's a lot of commentary stuff. I forgot about the whole Inga scenario. I really don't remember it all that well. This is what I'm talking about. Like I watched Men in Chelsea, but do I remember the different stuff that they say sometimes? And you know what's funny about Sam and Yaz? They had started a podcast together, and I thought they were like, I thought they were tight. Do you get it? But I meant as in like locked in. I never actually thought they were gonna break up because I just thought because I thought sorry, I thought like when two people start a pod together, that I thought it was quite like a huge thing, like two people coming to do a pod. That probably means that you guys are in, you know what I mean, that you are in a good place to actually do one together because you're out here having like, I don't know, conversations on a pod like together. Celebs go dating. I forgot Sam was on that show. I haven't watched Celebs Go Dating in ages. Again, all these shows. I haven't watched Celebs Go Dating in ages. What is happening? I have all of these shows that I don't watch anymore. It's gonna go for a break now. See? That is so funny. It's gonna go for a break now because obviously I was just like, they always do this all the time, and I said, as I said earlier, this is their new way of trying to make people stay. And I think, as I said, that's why I'm saying to you guys, Made in Chelsea is not that good anymore. I don't think I have long left of the. Oh yeah, I don't have long left of this episode actually. I meant of Made in Chelsea episode, but like I think, yeah. Um, I'll wrap up this episode also now. Um, oh, there's also a Zootropolis ad. But moving on, moving on though, moving on. Like, I think I would like to do Made in Chelsea episodes going forwards because I think exactly it makes the experience more fun. Um and why I say that is because no, actually it saves me having to like, what's the word, yeah, it saves me having to try to be busy while watching it when, like, yeah, when to be honest, exactly, I could just do this. That's what I'm saying. Like, and you guys don't mind that. And if you're like me, who is watching Made in Chelsea, um, and like some of it does. I don't know. Some of it does interest you because that's what I'm saying. I mean, a show, you will stay with a show if it semi interests you, not like all the way, but I'm saying if a show is able to keep you, then it's probably doing some things correctly. Also, again, with this episode as well, I really am. Fact of the matter is, the whole Jazz Demi and scenario, I do really care about Jazz and Demi's relationship. That's my whole thing. Like, I thought to myself, first of all, I hope that like nothing happens. Like, but I meant like how they were arguing, but I meant I didn't want what was happening to affect their relationship. And again, because it's funny because of course it makes it seem like it's a crossover, because obviously I know Demi from Towie, which I mentioned because because I watched Towie also. So it's like I'm like to myself, I didn't want her and Jazz um to break up. Even the last time, even in actually the previous episode, I actually thought that that was going to happen, because obviously, yes, I thought that whole conversation about Jazz and Demi not trusting her, it was more so like, I think because obviously Demi was saying to her, "Oh, of course, I trust you." Like, you know what I mean? And Jazz made it seem like Demi didn't trust her at all. But obviously Demi reassured her and was like, "No, I do." But then I think also with Jazz and Demi relationship though, it is quite interesting because um like Jazz probably should have had more time. I mean, before joining a relationship with a woman, anyways. I mean, she should have probably had time to explore, and I think more time to really understand who she is as yeah, as a person. Because I feel like when you come out late in life, I do think that very much what's it called, can exactly, it just is a whole thing that you have to like get used to, and you have to also like, yeah, you have to rewire your brain, and but not even like rewire your brain, but you just need to be absolutely like secure in that. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think. So that is also actually why I do think that's another thing that has made all of this happen as well in their relationship, because he she hasn't been able to do it. So I think that's also why their whole trust topic even came up in the first place. But okay, that's enough of this yapping about this episode. I mean, of episode 9. I just don't even know. Like, the whole episode is weird. I also wish Yaz and her tennis boyfriend, like, I wish them absolute happiness. But I really don't know actually, because Yaz also confuses me as well. Like, I was talking about Olivia, Yaz does too, because she, yeah, she's very confusing, because she was, well, when she had come out of a relationship with Sam, and then she was dating Armin, and then it was like, it was just all over the place, and she didn't really know what she was doing either. And she was like, she liked Armin, but then she also didn't. And then also, remember, she was trying to get in the way of of Armin and Tabitha, which she did do anyways. But it was just absolutely crazy. So yeah, it was absolutely crazy. I feel like, also in conclusion, guys, watch Made in Chelsea or don't. I just do think watching reality TV is very interesting, and sometimes, I don't know, it's weird. I was gonna say, does it feel something in your life that you are missing? Because also, as I said, with Made Chelsea people, like, they are doing things that probably a lot of us wish we were doing, which is like going on holidays, going to all of these places, and they just do all these stuff, and their lives always seem so glitz and glam. Not that they always are, though, actually, to be honest. Their lives are not always glitz and glam, but again, that's just what it looks like. So that's the whole thing again, and that's what I was talking about, the idea of what's it called? The idea of when they dress reality TV up. And I think that also ties in to like the reason for watching it. But also, yeah. Anyways, we'll see each other back here. What is it? Like, yeah, maybe should I do them? I don't know if I will do them on Wednesdays, because um Yeah, I don't really watch Made in Chelsea. Remember when the episode comes out? Like it comes out obviously on every Monday, but remember, Made in Chelsea does not come on actually at 9 o'clock for the longest time. Like it doesn't do it at 9 o'clock anymore because of yeah, because of Married at First Sight. Yeah, not that I'm not a hater of Married at First Sight, guys. I just think that like the 9 o'clock slot has always been Made in Chelsea's, but it generally hasn't been. It hasn't been its slot for like I don't even know. Like, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time. Do you know what I mean? They always have all these different shows that they put on before Made in Chelsea, and then they sidetrack it to like, I don't even know. They put Made in Chelsea on, yeah, at like, I think it's usually like 10 something or whatever, or whenever, like, it was like 10, oh, no, 10:35. And it's just like, who's watching Made in Chelsea at 10:35 in the evening? Not unless you have nothing else to do, if that makes sense. That's what I was talking to you guys again about the whole entertainment thing and like the intrigue. So it's like no one's really wanting to watch it at 10:30. Like you want to watch it at 9 and it lasts until it's usually 9 till like 10:05. So that's basically what you want. You just want that slot. And 9 o'clock feels better than like 10:30 at night because you don't know what I might E4. You don't know what we want to be watching at that time, right? We could be wanting to watch a true doc or anything like that, and I think it's very, very strange. That's what I think. So, like, yeah, my whole thing is that they do need to bring that back. They do need to bring that era back of 9:30. I mean 9:30. Sorry, 9 o'clock. I need to bring back the 9 o'clock slot. And they also, I don't know, I want to say like, I think like they make Made in Chelsea better, but they won't be able to do that, I don't think. This is what I mean. I think they'll be able to do that. And also, I think I should talk about, anyways, not just Made in Chelsea, anyways, sorry. I should talk about more reality TV in general. I mean, because of course that is why the podcast is Cine Shows, and you guys know that sometimes I talk about like what's it called, aside from movies, but when it comes to shows I talk about more so like and dramas and animes and all this other stuff. But I'm just like, let's talk about TV. Do you get what I mean? Let's talk about TV. But then again, as I said, let's also talk about reality TV. But I haven't watched exactly, aside from like exactly when I said Made in Chelsea and Towie, I have not watched a good reality TV show in a long time. If maybe you can, as I said before, I was talking about the dating show stuff, and I think those are where it's at right now because exactly you have Married at First Sight, you have Love Island, you have what else? You have like Love is Blind. I forgot what else is the other one. You also have Too Hot to Handle. So you have all these other like reality TV stuff, but you don't really have like much others. You know what I will say, because this is gonna be my last point as well, actually, before I end the episode. But I do think again, the last thing I might have watched anyways that was reality TV related, and I watched it on Netflix, but I think it was like what's it called again? What's that thing called? Like um something Wives. I watched something Wives like um oh I forget, but it was that one on Netflix, and it was about people who are in relationships with like reality stars. So it was obviously all of these like all of these black women who were in relationship with people who are in the limelight. So I know there was actually, yeah, exactly. One of them was in a relationship with what's his name again? Yeah, Young Thug, right? So one of them was in a relationship with Young Thug, and then there was also somebody else who's in a relationship with like basketball players and all of that kind of stuff. So I think it's that term. Remember, what is that term again? Yeah, that time that kind of term where you're like a yeah, where it's kind of like I feel like in those kind of shows, actually, where it's like your life revolves around your husband, but you also have your own life too, if that makes sense. But then, okay, what I will say is those shows, again, as I said, are more interesting. So think of more shows like exactly like Real Housewives and all those other ones, but those are more interesting. Like when you think about it, what does Made in Chelsea really have? As I said, apart from the glitz and the glamour and uh a a trinkle or a sprinkle of drama. Do you know what I mean? Like a sprinkle and like but just not that good. And like the drama, as I said about from the show, used to be so much better like then than it is now, you know? Like they don't really have a lot of like big arguments that they used to have, or no one's really being swirled, or well sometimes kind of, that really depends, but then not very much. And then it's also probably not as great. And again, one more thing actually that I'll also mention actually is Made in Chelsea's uh predictability. Like there's no level of unpredictable stuff in it. Like they have the same kind of like format, and I do think that obviously Towie has that too actually, because they have just the same kind of yeah, fleshed out storyline where it's like, okay, there'll be a situation where I don't know, your boyfriend's cheating on you, you know, they'll throw that in there. Or then all of the cast members go on a trip, blah blah blah, something happens on the trip, blah blah blah. Do you know, it makes me think of like also what's it called? Geordie Shore, right? And how, but you know, Geordie Shore actually, first of all, Geordie Shore actually was way more interesting because like it was more interesting because like what's the word? It was more interesting because like obviously it had also that element of violence, which obviously is what reality TV I think like it's weird. Is what reality TV is missing, you know? Reality TV is missing the element of violence in it. And it's weird because of course, you know, um it's never good sometimes to see it. And I know that when I watched what was it? When I watched the documentary, remember about Jerry Springer. Sorry, guys, I was like, my brain was loading. So Jerry Springer, and how obviously he made that whole fight thing. Like he made that whole fight thing a thing. Do you know what I mean? And it was like that made us as the audience want to see fights in shows more often. And I don't know, like it's weird because we're like violence is not the answer, but then it's just like I think why it works the way that it does is because it just I feel like obviously fights exactly add so much to a program. And I guess exactly that's why I love Geordie Shore like a lot. And I think Geordie Shore will actually always be my favorite reality TV program ever, you know? Nothing else has really taken that spot. Not really. I do actually, you know what's also again another good one, because of course when I mentioned about Sam today, I do think that another show which is probably quite good is obviously I'm a Celeb. I'm a Celeb's okay. But of course, like that show's a bit too like, you know, because it can make you a bit uncomfortable because of course they have all that stuff with the challenges and stuff. And sure, is it interesting to see celebrities be put in scenarios that they wouldn't be in, like, you know, on an average because they have such rich lives? Yes, but it's still like I don't want to see anyone eating, say, a spider, because you know I wouldn't do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one can pay me anything to do that, you see? And that's what I'm saying. Like, celebrities go on these type of shows, like I'm a Celeb, just in order to get a paycheck and to do it for fun as well. But it's like I wouldn't do that. Like I wouldn't do that. But it's funny because it's true, because it makes you think with celebrities and how most of their lives revolve around money. Just makes you think that like what wouldn't they do for it? Do you know what I mean? What wouldn't they do for the money? And then like I guess maybe does it put a reflection onto us as well? Because do we ask ourselves, yeah, would we do it for say whatever amount? But like generally like I wouldn't. So that's the craziest thing. Like like honestly I'm like when they do say that as if it is a reflection thing, I'm still like I would not do it for any I wouldn't do it for any amount and you couldn't pay me anything. So do you know what I mean? But hey but hey, like do you know what I mean? Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Made in Chelsea. And we and catch me here next week. Um either either talking about Made in Chelsea or do you know what I mean? Or we'll just you know what I mean, we'll just pick it up somewhere else. So probably just our normal scheduling. So thank you for listening and see you in the next one.